Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I had a subscriber ask a question when I did my video the other day on cryotherapy, and I'm just going to paraphrase it for you guys who aren't watching the video and just listening. But he basically asked, if cryotherapy doesn't work, why do some pro rugby teams who are doing really well all use it? Well, let's break this down for a minute, guys, and something that you guys need to understand with professional elite athletes versus the layman. And I think Dr. Mike Israetel said it best, and I'm going to paraphrase him also. Professional elite athletes and world champions, oftentimes, and the majority of them, do a lot of really stupid shit. They also do a lot of really smart stuff. For people who can't afford their lifestyle, it's your job to figure out which stuff is smart and which stuff is stupid so that you can figure out what to implement yourself. Why is that? Because essentially these guys are all competing for their actual career, their job, their therapy, their recovery methods. Everything they do is part of their 9-to-5 job. Just like whatever you do for a living is, this is their job. They can afford the time, they can afford the money, and when they're competing for multi-million-dollar contracts and positions, they have to be willing to spend $500 or $1,000 a month on any therapy that an expert tells them might give them a small recovery advantage, that might give them a 0.5% edge in competition on someone else who's competing for that same $5 million contract. All right? It doesn't matter if it's only a 10% chance it's going to work. That's why the mask came in big. Even though we know they don't work, a lot of champions use the mask. This is why various types of cryotherapy, why the cupping, why everything else is being used. Because every world champion is trying to get an advantage, and they will do literally anything for a fraction of a percent advantage in a competitive environment. No matter how painful, no matter how expensive, no matter how stupid it might sound, they have to be willing to do that. And what you're going to find is not just one or two things. I can promise you that a lot of these champions, they aren't just doing one method. They're usually combining 3 or 4 or 10 different things that they might be paying for, everything from deep tissue massages to the cryotherapy to active recovery methods to voodoo flossing, foam rolling. They are doing everything. They're taking sleeping drugs, they're taking melatonin, they're taking anything they can to get more sleep, more rest, anything they can do to recover from their training load. Because if they can recover faster, they can train harder and do it again sooner so they can get better. They will spend hours every week and thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars a year if they have to, on anything that might give them a recovery advantage. Doesn't matter how silly it is. And so they end up accordingly doing a lot of really stupid shit that's unproven, and when it is studied, turns out not to work. But you know what? If they pay for 6 different things and 2 out of the 6 work and the other turn out to be silly and ineffective, it worked. Because they do a shotgun approach. They have to try everything, trying to get that edge. And if they find 2 different recovery methods that end up working, they have a good chance of winning. They have a good chance of being successful. So they'll try anything, but they end up doing a lot of really stupid shit. And it doesn't mean that they're stupid people. It's because they don't have time to research everything. They don't have time to stay on top of the current studies. They don't have time to wait for a study to see if a method works. They've got multi-million-dollar championships on the line. Professional athletes can't wait around for the science to catch up in 3 or 4 or 5 years. They've got to try it now and hope it works. But you as the layperson, that your career doesn't depend on a 0.5% advantage. If you're recreational or you're an amateur level competitor in something and it's not your career and you're not going to make large sums of money on it, you really need to weigh these things out and say, hey, is this actually going to help me or is this just silly? Am I really going to benefit from this? Should I be paying for this? I mean, because that's how the supplement industry sucks people in, with tons of stuff that doesn't work that you end up spending more and more money on, hoping it's going to work, when most of it is not going to. Just like a lot of these therapies, most of it isn't going to, but every now and then they stumble upon some stuff that does. And they have to try enough different things and have enough different things in the rotation to make sure that they're finding something that works. And it doesn't matter if the 3 or 4 of the things don't do anything, because they've got enough stuff in that something has to work. And that's going to give them the advantage that they need. It's a shotgun approach. You as a layman, a non-professional, non-elite athlete probably can't afford the time or the financial expense to do what professional athletes do in that regard. And even if you could, you probably don't need it. You're not going to notice much difference anyways. For you, a 0.5% advantage isn't noticeable. For them, a 0.5% advantage could be $3 million difference per year. Big difference. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.